We'll jump up next on our agenda to hear from Ed Lewis. He's the Deputy Director of Greater Spokane Emergency Management, and he's going to really tell us what's going on.
If you guys waited for that, you're in trouble. A couple cards up here if anybody wants any additional information. Actually, Travis trapped me into coming today. I appreciate it, Travis. But I've been wanting to get here, candidly. It's just been scheduling. It's just been crazy. So thanks again, actually, for the offer and the trap that you threw out, buddy. I appreciate it. Some of the things that are going on, and this is just a short list of some of the activities that we were talking about in particular when Travis and I were talking. And one thing I don't see, where is the June date there? I left it off the list. Cascadia. Is it up there? Oh, it's the bold. That's why. I see. I was looking going, wait a second. And that was the primary thing that we talked about. So I wanted to make sure that folks knew what we were and what we weren't doing as it related to Cascadia. But taking a step back, as an office, early on, we participated in the planning efforts around Cascadia on the state level. And we inserted quite a bit of conversation about Eastern Washington and what our role might be. Thinking back on that, we wanted to make heard, and we were heard. However, from a planning perspective, I think taking on world peace was really what emergency management felt that we were asking to do, because, and I know that you saw some of the presentations about the regional coordination center model and those kinds of things, all very good models. But when you think about the effort, we kind of were left out of it, and from some logical reasons. Again, one was taking on, I think, a larger chunk, and the other was, I guess it was really primarily that. And so we will be addressing some of those issues in the future. I think the regional coordination system will come up probably in another round, and then we'll get tied in a little bit better. It was an interesting effort. I'm just sharing from a staff perspective, because we kept sending folks to the table for the conversation and kept coming back and said, well, we almost feel like Eastern Washington doesn't exist. But nevertheless, we still learned about what it was that they were going to do and not do. And I'd be interested to hear from anybody who may be doing activities centric to that. I know Kootenai County and our partners, as was explained earlier, are going to have a significant exercise. We're going to participate in that with them. And we've had some good dialogue about that. So from a local perspective, emergency management perspective, in our system, our Aries races, the amateur radio folks will be working a couple of days during the event. We will be communicating as if our ECC is stood up here and communicating with the state, making sure that our systems and links work. If you're not aware, we've recently put a room in the Emergency Coordination Center for communications with our amateur radio operators. And so we're just now starting to make that into a little robust center that we can actually communicate out of. If we had to today, I know we could, but we still have some work to do in there. But the cool thing is that we added it and we've got it running, so we'll be exercising that. In addition, we will be supporting the event from a public information perspective through our office, and then collaboratively we will make sure that we are trying to do some joint messaging about what is and isn't occurring, because you can't go very far without seeing something about it. So those are the two efforts that primarily that we are going to be taking on as it relates to the subduction zone exercise coming up in June. Questions about that before we move on? Comments? Does anybody do anything specific that we're not aware of? Stand by.
As far as that goes, Deaconess is going to actually take on the role of the DMCC and start working that end of it. We're getting everything back up and running in that area.
That would be critical, because we know very well the reality of what's going to occur if something like that happened. I don't think that the freeway is going to stop us. Yes, Ed?
Yeah, just another question. I know that the Aries Races folks in Spokane are working pretty heavily with the Spokane-centric hospitals. Are they reaching out to the other Aries Races or other hospitals that also have ham radio? I'm not sure what that is.
I'm going to hand the mic right here.
Well, I haven't been in contact with the others because I'm not up to the level where I should be doing that. But I know that there has been an effort being made exactly how much participation. I believe Lincoln County is planning to participate, but I'm not positive on that. Also Whitman County. I'm not certain as far as the other counties in Region 9.
And I also have recently seen, literally this week, communications from the state Aries Races folks and kind of ramp up going on. So I suspect that will occur, or some section of that will occur. Balance of events, it's always a busy time. A couple things I might like to explain. The Naval Postgraduate School Seminars, this is a second in a series that we have had with those folks. They do 13 of these in the nation. Last year they were here and we did a recovery section primarily focused on a hazardous materials spill. And it's really for senior leadership that we're really focusing the efforts with them and bringing them in with subject matter experts and talking about what happens in your community on that given bad day. They do, like I said, they do about 13 or 14 of these a year. They do all the planning for actually the political conventions that come up. This team does, so they're pretty astute in that major incident piece from the policy level in particular. And Spokane was the smallest metropolitan area that they'd ever done one in last year. I had a good time with this apparently because we asked them if they'd come back, and sure enough they are. And we're gonna focus that effort on a Balkan crude spill in downtown Spokane at that leadership level. And that's we're actually looking quite forward to bringing those folks together and having that conversation. You know, we all like to use the all hazards approach to what we're doing, but the reality of the Balkan crude and the sensitivity of the issue really has driven an awful lot of our effort, as you can see up there on the board as well. So we're partnering with BN to bring in some specific hazardous material training in April. So those are hands-on classes around the DOT cars, both the new cars as well as the old design cars, trying to learn a little bit more about it should we have one of those kinds of spills, primarily again focused at the fire service. The alternate care facility, is that a tabletop? No, that's a full scale. I apologize for that. The full scale, that's going to be out on the east or the West Plains with the Adventist Church, is that correct? And their folks, and that effort is well underway, being led by your staff or by, I believe, I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I assumed it was. And the cool thing about that is we continue to build and evolve there, and we've come a long ways in that effort. Vista has an annual drill for their dam exercises on April 5th, and that is a breach exercise that we'll be participating with them on as well. The next BN course there is a hazardous materials recertification for BN, and the newly joined hazardous materials teams here will be working with them. For just a moment, I-90, the hazardous materials spill that happened at State Line here, what's that, 2 years ago now, if I remember correctly? A pretty significant event where we shut down the freeway, went through those exercises. The hazmat team for the city of Spokane just really isn't large enough to take on a full-scale operation like that and sustain it over multiple operational periods. And so what really came out of one of the great AARs out of that was that they ended up ultimately using Kootenai County and Fairchild Air Force Base and Spokane's hazmat team. Well, now they have joined forces and they have automatic call-outs and they have protocols where they're working together. This is going to be another opportunity to bring them together with BN and do some hands-on experience at the hazardous materials team level. So that's what that's aimed at. The COAD, the Community Organizations Active in Disasters, that group is really active. If you're not aware of who they are, that group has been a great effort on behalf of a lot of folks of really trying to bring together a lot of people who become active during disasters, obviously by their title, but how do we keep them re-energized, focused, and moving forward, and they're doing that very well. One of the things that was an after action from the wind event was how do we activate that group without bringing the entire 60 people into the building and then suddenly be overran. So we're going to do a tabletop exercise. We're in the process of of developing a checklist for a co-ed liaison to the ECC. And then we're going to bring the whole group in and do an exercise tabletop with them sometime in October. Business and continuity planning group, there's a group here in Spokane, the greater area, and we're going to do a Balkan-centric discussion and tabletop exercise with them in November. And I think that's the short list of things that I can think of that are going on. Questions?